Welcome to Scrolling to Death. I have Titania Jordan back with me from Bark. Hi, Titania.
Hi, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I am peachy keen.
You're from Georgia, so you could say that. I can't say that.
Well, if we're going to talk about emojis, you can, but.
Yeah. Oh,
right.
Like butts? Isn't a peach emoji like a butt? No.
It is.
Wow, is that not what you meant?
This has already got off the rails. You know what? It's all about the outtakes, right?
Yeah. We always have a little fun, and it's fine because we're also going to talk about the fact that Roblox is a pedophile hellscape for children. So we have to balance it out, right?
So there's that. Yeah, if we get too in the weeds, like it gets dark, right? So we do need to laugh.
We do, and people check in like, "Are you okay?" Because you're constantly looking at really hard stuff, and I'm like, sometimes I'm fine, and sometimes I'm not, but it's okay. I'm doing okay overall.
Yeah. Side note, and sorry, this isn't about Roblox, but it is about abuse. As a survivor of childhood sexual abuse, I'm pretty resilient, given what I have to encounter. But I'll tell you what, something that really wrecked me this week was the Menendez Brothers documentary on Netflix.
Oh.
Hearing the brothers' firsthand testimonies of what their dad put them through, like, I'm not okay. And I guess just like a warning to anybody, if you watch Netflix and you're interested in this, the renewed interest in this story, because it's picking up a lot of steam on TikTok, especially people saying they should be released given what they were made to endure as children.
Okay.
Anyway, just like, I don't know.
Trigger warning on that documentary.
Yeah, feel free to cut all this, but like, yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot.
That's really good to know because sometimes you just hear everyone's watching this. It must be so good. But if it's going to trigger something for you or not be something that feels good to you, skip that one. But do watch, which I haven't yet, but I keep hearing incredible things, the social studies documentary on Hulu, right?
Yeah, like I canceled Hulu, but I might have to resubscribe just to watch it because I can't wait to watch it.
I'm trying to get the director on for an interview, and she followed me on Instagram, but hasn't responded to my direct message yet. So I think her name's Lauren Anderson. Hey, holler at your girl.
She will. You're kind of a big deal. So, and speaking of kind of big deal, let's talk about this Meta Exposed series.
Oh,
that's like, can I watch it already? When do I get to watch it? I'm dying to watch it.
Okay. Correction. Laura Greenfield is the Hulu documentary social studies person. But okay. There's a Meta Exposed documentary. It's like 7 parts. I thought it was going to be 4 or 5, but it's 7 and some really great whistleblowers. Paul Raphael, who's like a cyber analyst, exposing everybody for sextortion on their platforms. And so Channel 7 Australia did a documentary exposing Meta, and it's really crazy. And I got to be featured in that, and they've just been really great. They put out another article a couple days ago talking about Meta's more recent updates to fight sextortion, with quotes around that. And I will link to it in the episode notes. It's available on YouTube for anyone to watch.
You can already watch it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh, you didn't know? Okay. I'll send it to you.
Okay. Yeah. Like, wow. Okay. Well, I know what I'm going to be doing after this.
Yeah. It's really good. It's really good. And I love always hearing from Arturo Bejar, who's a Meta whistleblower, and Paul Raphael, and Lottie.
Is David Erb in it?
No, I was hoping that he was, but listeners will still just have to listen to his interview on my podcast.
Yeah.
Because his story is often, when people say, what's the most shocking thing you've heard? It's his story and just the blatant disregard and hiding of harm to children by Facebook then, now Meta. So I will link to that as well. Lots of resources in the episode notes for parents. David Erb. Yeah. Okay.
Never a dull day when we're trying to talk about Roblox.
It's insane. I don't know. And a lot of parents who've been in this fight against these platforms for harming kids for years, they're like, things are picking up. We're seeing big changes, and I appreciate their perspective because it was too quiet for too many years around exposing these things. And the latest, which we'll talk about now, is Roblox. A group called Hindenburg Research did a report and an investigation into Roblox, and they found some like insane things, which we'll cover in a minute. But I just wanted to give a little background on Roblox. Most parents know what it is, but if you don't, Roblox is an online gaming platform targeted to kids. Its content is categorized as either all ages, 9 plus, 13 plus, or 17 plus. I think they recently added the 17 plus area for more mature content. It's not just one game. There are over 40 million games within Roblox. It has almost 80 million daily active users. 21% are between 9 and 12, and another 21% are under 9 years old. So lots of little kids on Roblox. And Roblox recently won the 2024 Kids' Choice Award by Nickelodeon for favorite video game. Is there anything about Roblox generally that I'm missing?
No. I mean, it's just, you said at the top of the show, it is a pedophile hellscape for kids. Those are strong words. And those are not our words. That's according to Hindenburg Research.
Yeah. And well, I'll describe to you a few things that they found within Roblox that was completely available to children of any age. So they did a deep dive, and there are all kinds of games, like I mentioned, 40 million different games within Roblox. There's a whole section of games, a bunch of games called adult studios with over 100,000 members, where gamers are just openly soliciting sexual favors, trading child sexual abuse material. So, and those are a lot of them open to any age child. There are erotic role play games where users can engage in rape and forceful sex fetishes. So there are hundreds of Diddy games like Survive Diddy and Run from Diddy Simulator. There are games that are school simulators. So cool. You get to like go into a classroom, and on the walls of the class or on the blackboards of the classroom, profanity, pictures on the artboards, male genitalia, just like tagged up. This is probably what shocks people the most. These two other things that they found. There are games called Beat Up the Pregnant, where users can beat and kill pregnant women. And games called Guns Work at a Hospital, where users can go up and shoot up patients in a hospital. This is a game for kids. This is a game that parents are giving their children at 5 years old or 4 or 5, 6 years old on their iPads to play alone. Parents think it's safe. They don't realize that there's content like this and predators finding children within these games on Roblox. And yes, this report is about Roblox, but we can assume, and we know from other research, that there are similar types of content within Minecraft and Fortnite and other games that are targeted to kids.
It's just absolutely heartbreaking and infuriating. There's so many bullet points that I want to get to from this research, including the fact that researchers spoke with moderators who are meant to keep the platform, as safe as they can.
Yeah.
Well, it's outsourced to Asian call centers, which in and of itself is not a problem. No. But it can be when they're paid $12 a day to review countless instances of child grooming and bullying, with a limited ability to keep these perpetrators off the platform permanently. They're not empowered to take meaningful action to stop it. They're just encountering it, which is harmful to them, and then not able to do anything about it.
And to be very clear, why would Roblox be telling these moderators not to take people off the platform or ban people from the platform? Why do you think?
Right. Because it's a growth at all cost mentality.
Yeah. And
declining user counts are bad for their metrics.
Right. And Roblox themselves claims that they have, quote, best in the world content moderation. So this was found to be not true within this report. It's so harmful and irresponsible for a company that's bringing in child customers to be telling the parents that this is a safe space and that we have best in the world content moderation, when that's just not true.
I mean, I'm just like, as I'm digging into this, I'm disgusted. They plugged in adult into the Roblox search bar, like the word adult, ADULT.
Yeah.
They found a group called Adult Studios with over 3,000 members openly trading child sexual abuse material and soliciting sexual acts for minors. How is the government not shutting them down immediately?
Child sexual abuse material is illegal. Let's remind everybody again.
Yeah.
Also, hosting it on your platform is illegal. So it's another example of things that are illegal that happen online that are somehow allowed, and it's messed up. It's not okay.
No.
When I interviewed GameSafe AI founder David Everett, he told me about XYZ rooms. And so I was aware of this, and this is in the report as well, that there are millions of users finding these XYZ rooms and their bathrooms, and it's just where you go to engage in sex acts with your character in the bathrooms.
Yeah, it says that they had 31 million collective visits. And if, according to Roblox's data, 21% of their user base, I believe, are children, which how do we know that, right? Because they don't even do age verification. It's probably a lot more.
Yeah.
That's not okay. That's not okay.
And on top of all this harmful content, Roblox has actually been lying about their user numbers to investors and advertisers.
Right.
So inflating metrics, which to me, it's like, we already have all the reasons to shut this company down. Like on top of this, like why is this company still allowed to do business, to do business with their customers, mainly being children? So what do we expect? I expect like lawsuits to follow. I would assume. I would expect a lawsuit from like the FTC or some kind of government agency. Fines. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that it is a catastrophe waiting to happen, right? It's a company that is not profitable. And a company that is not profitable is certainly not going to be able to pour resources into making the platform better or safer, right? They're in protect and preserve mode.
Yeah.
So they're probably letting people go, hiding as much as they can. Children are the most vulnerable consumers. And so they're probably leaning even more into, let's get as many kids on this platform as possible because we need the numbers. I'm guessing. I don't have that information. I cannot confirm that. But, if you're an unethical business person, that's what you're doing.
I mean, it's a pattern we're seeing across all social media companies. Like Snapchat, not profitable for years, pumps a ton of money into addicting children to their platform through rewards and different things like that, and does not provide their safety teams enough resources to protect the kids on their platform. They just need them on there as much as possible. But when we're talking about kids, they can't regulate their time spent on these platforms. We have to stop taking advantage of their underdeveloped brains, in addition to allowing them easy contact with predators and to be manipulated into sending like nude imagery or something like that. Like this is a problem across all social media platforms. And currently the laws that exist provide a shield to the tech companies in case any parents are wondering why it's not easier to hold these companies accountable. It's because we have a law from 1996 called Section 230, part of the Communications Decency Act, that is an immunity shield to platforms for what is done on their platform. Now, there's a lot of work being done to reform that law or overturn it. So hopeful that in the next year or so, we'll have some actual liability being able to be placed on the companies for when they are allowing this or helping this to happen to kids, this harm to happen to kids. So anything else on this report that we want to highlight?
Two things. One is just a personal appeal to founder and CEO David Baszucki. You are a dad. You're a dad. I'll just leave it at that.
I got chills, like full body chills when he said.
It's true. And he talks about his children and what he wants Roblox to be in 10 years and how it can be incorporated into his family communications. It's like a whole thing. And I'm just like, you're a dad. So there's that. We'll put a pin in that. The other thing I want to say is that I know, because I used to be that parent, where I would see a reel or a video of people like you and I talking and be like, okay, they're just trying to get clicks and views and, cause moral outrage and panic. It's probably not that big of a deal. Please believe us that it is. Is it possible for your child to go on Roblox and not encounter any of this? Absolutely. We're not saying there's 100% chance your child will see this stuff. But I believe, if I could put words in your mouth, what we are saying is, let's say you send your child to school and they're in second grade and their second grade classroom is safe. Great teachers, great friends, everything's good. But in the classroom next door, in the classroom down the hall, and maybe the grocery store across the street, there's some really, really, really bad stuff going on. And it's only a matter of time before they encounter it. And you cannot come back from that. That's what we're saying, is just be aware. Be aware that it is actually there. It is pervasive. It's not a one-off limited experience. And it's not okay. It's not okay. If you know this and still decide to let your child use it, that's on you. But if you don't even know this, that's not okay.
And at the end, I want to talk about some suggestions if you are going to let your child play games like Roblox. I have some suggestions to try to make it safer and some conversations to have. But I want to talk about, what Roblox is sort of doing to try to make their platform safer.
Yes, totally.
They recently announced a partnership. So Roblox recently announced a partnership with Google. They created a game called Be Internet Awesome, which teaches kids about internet safety, and it shows them how to spot internet scams, to be careful of sharing personal information online. What do you think generally about when tech companies get involved in kind of digital safety education? Like, here, user, here's how you can stay safe on the platform.
I have actually been to a Be Internet Awesome in-person display at a conference, and it was great. Like, we were throwing basketball into a hoop and learning about internet safety, and it was great. But I'm an adult. If they do that same thing at schools, cool. Like, make it fun. Help them learn. We all need digital citizenship education. Not mad at it. Use your resources to educate and empower. That said, the Be Internet Awesome game that I saw within Roblox, let's be honest, what kid is going to play that? Like, it's not like, is anybody even going to play that? And if they do play it, are they going to learn from it?
Right.
I've played it. I didn't get a lot of takeaways other than like, this just feels like any other video game. Like, very well done.
It's cute. It's on brand. I agree. One media outlet covered this and asked, isn't that like the wolf teaching Little Red Riding Hood about how to survive in the woods? And I just have a problem with companies putting the onus on children to learn how to keep themselves safe when a company like Roblox is perpetuating the harm in the first place. The harms shouldn't be there for the child to have to try to avoid and jump around. Like, the tech company should remove the harm from their own platform first, or in addition.
If a company has the ability to prevent harms in the first place, they should do that instead of spending time building and designing video games. Like, just block the bad stuff, right? And again, like, I think you do a wonderful job of being objective, right? Like, let's show the plus, let's show the minus, let's celebrate the wins. Like, Meta's teen accounts, I believe, are going to start locking the follower and following listings per Paul Rafile's recommendation. Like, that's a win. We celebrate that.
Only for accounts that are flagged as scam accounts or have some scammy behavior.
Which then goes back to what we were just talking about of why are they even on the platform?
Correct, Titania. If an account is flagged as scammy, why is it all allowed on the platform at all?
Bye.
Please. I know, and I acknowledge the attempt, but you have to follow through and actually make it safer. Don't just allow the scammer to continue to contact people. Anyways, please.
Yeah, these are these are very smart people working at these companies, and these are not rocket science level solutions that we're proposing.
Correct.
Anyway, what I do want to highlight is that if you do allow your child to play Roblox, and I understand, especially if all their friends are playing it and they want to play it and they're bothering you to play it and you want them to be included. I've been there. Please make sure it's not in a bedroom behind closed doors. They're playing it in the common area of the home, and you have turned on all of their parental controls. I'm talking about the chat filters, the parent pins. You can lock your parental controls with a pin code, which, hey, good job, Roblox. A lot of other platforms that launch parental controls don't set pin codes to prevent them from being changed, right?
Insane.
Make sure that Roblox knows how old your child is, right? They don't think they're 18 when they're 11. Make sure you're using restricted mode, so nobody can send your child messages or chat with them. Make sure that you're monitoring. If you have the Bark phone, or your child has an Android device and you have Bark on it, Bark can monitor Roblox. But, at the end of the day, you've got to think, do I really want to go through these 7 different steps to try to make this thing safer for my kid when they could be doing something else with their time? It's up to you.
That's what I come down to is, do I want my child to be playing an addictive, harmful video game and just struggling to keep it safe? Or do I want to not allow them to play a video game and instead my son builds Legos for 2 hours or plays in the backyard, plays handball, plays on the play set? Like, all of those other things are better, 100% better for him. You don't have to allow your child to play video games.
Not at all. Not at all.
In my opinion.
Yeah. All of your child's friend can play this game and you can invite them over to your house to be the safe place to do the other things that they're not doing at their home, right? Like, let's color. Maybe. I don't know.
Right.
Wild thought.
Hey, get a little messy.
Get messy. Run around outside.
Yeah.
Create. Be bored. Give them a roll of tape. Like, it's so hard because I get it. And I was there and I made these mistakes. I wish I could go back. But hopefully everybody listening has children who are younger than mine. He's now, he's in high school. So
it's harder.
But hopefully you all listening have younger children and you can say, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to follow the crowd. And I'm going to make sure my child has an actual childhood.
Yeah. I will note one more thing Roblox is doing. They did recently announce an advisory council of teenagers. So they called it Teen Council. They bring together up to 15 teenagers ages 14 to 17 from across the U.S. to serve as advocates for digital well-being and advisors on civility. The teens are going to spend time collaborating with Roblox's internal teams and give opinions and advice about user safety. And I generally think it's amazing to be accessing actual teenagers when developing safety procedures or, precautions around a product. I love that. And I want to be talking to more teens as well on my platform. But again, I just feel like Roblox itself is too far gone. They're not going to recover from this. How could they? It would take a complete rehaul of their entire platform to get rid of all of this bad stuff. And if they're already not profitable, and then you're getting rid of millions of users that are preying on children, their stock's going to plummet. So they're not going to do that. They're going to need to be forced to do that through lawsuits and litigation.
Great. I'm glad they have a council, but
right. I know.
The National Center on Sexual Exploitation this year in 2024 labeled Roblox a tool for sexual predators and a threat for children's safety. Yeah. This is a nonprofit organization. That's a problem.
Okay. So when it comes to, in my opinion, Roblox is not safe. You should not let your child play Roblox, period.
Yeah.
If you don't agree that it's unsafe, or if you feel like the pros of it outweigh all of these cons that we talked about, please rewind a couple of minutes, listen to Titania's recommendations about how to make it slightly safer. I would add, have them play offline, but it's not as fun offline because then they can't play with their friends that are, down the street or their cousins that are in another state, which is what a lot of parents want to let their kids do, is connect with actual friends, which if it was just that would be amazing. So if you keep it offline, great. And with Roblox having the PIN for parental controls, the child shouldn't be able to go online without knowing the PIN or accessing the parent. So maybe, but the kid as they grow older are going to want to do more things, engage with more people on there, visit more areas of Roblox. That's going to require going online and getting access to predators and inappropriate content. So the number one thing about all of this online access is having conversations. Do you want your kid to learn about sex and drugs and all these things from somebody online or from a social media platform or from a gaming platform? Or do you want to teach them about those things in a safe way? And I hope everyone agrees that the parent should be teaching their children about the harms of some of these things. So those conversations, if your child is online in any way, those conversations need to start happening early and often about what they are going to encounter so that they make safe choices when a predator is trying to get to know them and groom them. They can notice that and be able to stop it from happening and not share that private information that gets them hooked into that situation. Any other notes on like how to talk to your kids about this? I have lots of other episodes, especially about grooming recently, how to notice grooming, how to prepare your child to be targeted by a predator in that way. But any other general thoughts on conversations?
I think it really falls into two camps. One is, if you are now convinced that Roblox is just not right for your child, understandable. And so you need to have that conversation with your child around the fact, like, I know that most of your friends are playing it. You really want to play it. You might feel left out because you're not playing it. I hate that you have to feel that way, but I would hate for you to be exposed to some really bad stuff even more.
Yeah.
So we're going to work together as a family to make sure you have fun and you are able to connect with your peers in meaningful ways that don't also harm you. Yeah. So, just having those conversations of how like you wish Roblox was safer so that they could play it,
Yeah.
But you're also not going to go let them drive a car when they're 12, right? It's a problem.
Yeah.
Then there's the other conversation around if they do play Roblox, here's what you might encounter and here's what to do if and when you do encounter that. And there are various ways to have age-appropriate conversations around predation and sexual content that I'm sure you've covered in other episodes and can link to in the show notes, et cetera. But that's not a one-and-done conversation.
No.
Those are conversations you should be having weekly, as they come up, right? What you don't want is for your child to be hearing about what's happening with P. Diddy from Roblox.
Right.
No. That's not the news source that we need.
No, it's not. And so, have those conversations, whether or not they're on there, because they may go to a friend's house and play, or they may get access on their school issued device, which I think my school issued devices last year when I checked at our school had access to Roblox. Has since been blocked, but whether or not you decide if you're going to let your kid have access to things like this, they're going to encounter it at some point. And so these conversations are non-negotiables. They have to happen. And there are ways to have those conversations early. Like just like in real life, there are bad people sometimes. Online, there are bad people, and bad people will look for kids on platforms that are targeted to kids. I mean, I can talk to my 7-year-old and 8-year-old about things like that now, and it helps them to just have an eye out for it when they're on their school iPad. Yeah, I think that is all. I think that covers it. I'm grateful to Hindenburg Research for doing this report and investigation and really exposing Roblox for what it truly is, because we'd heard little things, but nothing as concrete as these examples that were found. And you mentioned that Bark does monitor Roblox on iPhones and Androids, right? And then the Bark phone. Obviously, if you have the Bark phone for your child, you can just make sure they cannot download Roblox. But anything else you want to say about how Bark can help protect your kids from harms that are included in things like Roblox?
Yeah, so less of an ability on an iPhone.
Okay.
Very limited. Oh my gosh, Sam Chapman's calling me right now.
Oh, hey, Sam.
Hey, Sam, I'll call you back. Sorry, we're recording.
Yeah.
Monitoring is way more comprehensive on an Android device if you're adding the Bark app to it, or if you have the Bark phone, which it's just built into the operating system. So if you want your child to be able to play Roblox and you want to be able to monitor it accurately, Android or Bark phone is the way to go. You can also just block it entirely if you're like, we're not going to do this anymore.
Yeah.
So whatever Bark product you use, Bark Home, Bark Phone, Bark app, you can just block it. Or if you want to just limit the time and only let them play for like 30 minutes after school in a common area of the home, you can do that with Bark as well.
Can you tell me briefly why Bark can't monitor Roblox very well on the iPhone?
Because of Apple. Apple does not work well with third-party platforms meant to analyze content. So it's an Apple problem, not a Bark problem, and not even a Roblox problem. It's an Apple problem.
Yeah. Okay, Titania, thank you for that breakdown, doing that breakdown with me. I think this is incredibly useful. There's lots of parents that I did a little recap video of this already on Instagram, and hundreds of parents are like, okay, bye Roblox. So,
wow.
We got to get the message out there so that parents can make informed decisions. And that's what we continue to do through these conversations. So I appreciate you and the team at Bark for helping keep our kids safe. And we will have another topic to come next month. Who knows what that will be? hopefully something good. We'll see.
Yeah. We should do like a happy hour.
I know. Happy hour.
Just like, yeah, happy hour.
Yeah. You know what Sam Chapman told me speaking of Sam Chapman told me last week, maybe you should talk about some positive stuff sometimes. And I was like, I hear you, Sam.
You know what? Let's everybody listening right now, can you send in your wins? Yeah. Like, have you learned something from the Scrolling to Death podcast that improved your life? That, did you have a conversation with your child that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise? Like, yeah, let's celebrate the wins.
Yeah. Because through learning about the hard stuff is how we make positive changes and how we help protect our kids. And that's positive in itself, right? And a lot of times sending these conversations to an appropriate, to a teenager that's of a certain age that you feel might be appropriate is super helpful, because teens don't want to listen to their parent. They want to listen to somebody else. And so that might be a good way to get these messages through to your kids age appropriately, depending on what you decide. So yeah, I love that. If you have a win, if you have something you've learned, or maybe you went to check Roblox and you found something like this and you got to protect your child from it, like tell us about that. So just message me or email me about that. I would love to feature that as well. And so Titania, thank you. Happy Friday. We'll talk soon.
I can't wait. Have a great weekend and a great reunion.
Thanks. High school reunion coming up. I'll report back. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.